Diamond C Fundamental for Success number 20, create win-win solutions. It's a two-way street. Learn to think from others' perspectives and be careful to discover their needs. Collaborate with others to create solutions that meet their needs while also fulfilling your own win-wins. Your success depends on theirs too. So, George, thanks for joining me for a few minutes to share some of your perspective on what it means to create win-win solutions. This fundamental is one that I believe is absolutely foundational to our growth and success, to a team member's growth and success at Diamond C or elsewhere, on any team for sure. But it's also one that seems to be oftentimes pretty challenging to actually put into practice and right. get in a habit of. So that's kind of where I'd like to dig in with you this morning. Everyone gets it in principle. We talk about create win-win solutions, think from others' perspectives, create win-win solutions. We get it in principle, but when it comes down to actually practicing it, oftentimes there are hang-ups with that. So what do you believe gets in the way? Why do we oftentimes have trouble practicing this fundamental?
Well, I think the biggest thing that gets in the way is sometimes we truly don't know what a win is, right? So are we looking at a win in the macro? Or are we looking at a win in the micro? So before you can truly create that win-win solution, then you got to know what element, what field you're playing in, right? So if I'm looking at it in the micro, I might say, what's the best thing for me in this particular scenario, in this particular situation? Right. But if I look at it in the bigger picture, and I know that sometimes I might have to take a step back, or I might have to get the shorter end of the stick, but the ultimate goal is for the company to grow, is for the team to win the game. So I might have to sacrifice a little bit on my end in order to get the ultimate achievement. Right. So if you're able to define that in the beginning, and both parties are able to define what that win is, then that helps you get across and figure out what that actual win-win solution is.
Man, I love that. It's so insightful as the starting place for creating win-win solutions. So you're a Six Sigma guy, all about process. So what would you say is the process for discovering the needs of others so that you can actually go about creating win-wins?
You got to be a good listener, right? So you have to understand and be able to put yourself in the shoes that the other party is in.
Right.
And then you also have to know, be a subject matter expert for what the position that you're in. So if I'm going to create a win-win situation as a director of ops, then I need to understand what it takes to be a director of ops.
Right.
So when you tell me what you need, then I know how to fulfill that need from my management perspective.
Right.
And the same thing, I need to listen and hear the things that you need. Obviously myself, I wouldn't know anything, the particulars about being a welder, right? But I will understand what it takes to weld. You have to have a good power source. You have to have repeatable processes. You have to have limited variation on your parts coming in. So all of those type of things that I can control and I can help contribute to the situation. And then if you tell me the exact needs that you need, then working together, we can create an environment that we're able to win from a company perspective because I'm able to provide my job. You're able to win from a welder's perspective because you're able to do the day-to-day things that you have to do, and ultimately Diamond C wins.
Yeah, I love that too, because I think that's one of the challenges of the application of this fundamental is how it shows up in all these different types of roles. And in your commentary just then, you mentioned from director of ops to a welder role or a machine operator, all these different roles. This fundamental absolutely applies. How do you see it showing up through all those different types of roles? How does it show up in the day-to-day from ops director, executive to machine operator and everywhere in between?
Well, like I said, ultimately, we're here for the success of Diamond C, right? So in order for Diamond C to be successful, then it starts from the ground level, right? We have to, one of the other fundamentals that really plays a big part in this is assume positive intent, right? So if I, as an operator, assume positive intent, and I know that the management team at Diamond C, if they ask us to, let's say, work a day of overtime, then that day of overtime, it's not for the just push everything and get the maximum production, but there's a customer that needs to get something, ASAP. We might be a little bit behind schedule. So we got to create that delivery to that customer. Ultimately, the success of Diamond C, us working that overtime, me delivering as a welder, me delivering as a QA and inspector, all of those things is going to deliver the end result so that the customer receives their product, they receive a good quality product, they receive it on time, they repeat customer.
Yeah,
they're going to talk about how great their experience is with Diamond C, which is going to bring in more customers. So in the end, we're building up Diamond C. When you build up Diamond C, you build up Mount Pleasant. You build up East Texas. You have better schools. You have better roads. All those things kind of tie all the way back in it. So when you look at it from that perspective, every person on this team plays a role. And when you win in your role, it allows the next person to win, and the next person to win, and ultimately, everybody wins.
This cumulative effect with the ultimate win-wins, where the community around us and everyone is winning, not just Diamond C or not just a team member or not just a department, but all stakeholders are winning. That's the ultimate kind of nirvana of creating win-wins, right? So last question for today. Can you tell us about a time, an actual experience where you have seen this principle of creating win-win solutions be a source of breakthrough, or call it a key catalyst for a person's growth and success?
Yeah, in one of my previous roles, I took over as general manager of the facility. The previous general manager actually stayed on board, and he became essentially my number two. Still a great friend to me, consider him a brother. So, one of the wins was that I have a long-lasting relationship that continues today. But from a company perspective, we both brought different skill sets. He had been in the industry for 10, 15 years. He was a hands-on guy. He knew the equipment. He knew the processes, all these things to actually make the day-to-day activities go and move forward. I came in, I've been involved in several startups, continuous improvement, eliminating variations, all these things that you do to grow the company. So I have a better skill set, I must say, more behind the scenes. Now, we came together, and I lent him my skill sets. He lent me his skill sets, and we were able to make big changes really fast in the company. And ultimately, we both got better as employees. The company had the success, and now he's a better manager, and I got the product knowledge from him. And ultimately, you have a win-win situation.
Awesome. I love that story. That's a great story of a situation that could be, if you both didn't go at that with this spirit of creating win-wins, you could have been at odds real easily.
Yes.
And it would have been a lose-lose.
It could have ended up very bad.
Yeah. So that's an incredible story of what it means to create win-wins for the growth and success of yourself, your team, your peers, and the organization. So, man, thank you so much for the kind of wisdom and insights that you've shared with us on this idea of creating win-win solutions, what it looks like. So for anyone out there that is striving to fuel the growth and success of a team or a group of people, remember, it's a two-way street, and your success depends on theirs too.